What's good, y'all? Before this video starts, I just want to shout out that my band Summit Blue, we just released our first album and streaming everywhere right now. We got some stickers to go along with it. Please go check it out. I'm really proud of it. It's all original music. If you want more information, go to our Instagram. I'll link it below. Enjoy the video. What's going on? I hope all of you are doing well. I have not made a video in a very long time. I'm very excited to be making this one. Right now on the platter, we got my best find of the year. Don Cherry Organic Music. Original 1971 Italian pressing. Just some of the most beautiful music I've ever heard. This first one is called Utopia and Visions. Today I'm going to be doing a video just kind of going over my recent finds, as in my finds from now until 8 months ago when I kind of made my last video. There's a lot of really good stuff in here. I'm really hyped to show you guys. Right now I'm still on break. We go back to school for the next semester next week. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I had some downtime. I thought I should probably finally make a video because it's been about 6 months. It was summer and now you can see it's winter, kind of. You can kind of see out there that it's, January. So yeah, first up, seriously just so excited about this album. I'm gonna be playing it through the whole video, kind of featuring some different tracks. It's a 2 LP, double LP, and there's just a lot of really good stuff on here. Moki Cherry, Don Cherry's wife, did the artwork, interior and exterior, and it is just so beautiful. The kind of story behind this album was that after Don Cherry made a name for himself kind of all around the globe for free jazz in the 60s, he moved to Toggarp, Sweden in about 1969, stayed there till like 1973. And during that time they made basically just a creativity and musical commune in this little town in Sweden. And they created this dome that you can kind of see they're on the inside there, and it's on the front cover. And that's where a lot of the sessions were recorded, just like set up microphones. They just played. I mean, kids were allowed to like contribute. Everyone was allowed to contribute. It was just a very, very beautiful and just pure creativity session. And it just created some really, really great music out of it. I love it. I mean, this is a pretty patchy album. It's like there's a bunch of different recordings from a bunch of different places, but I think all of them are really, really deep and just really spiritual. I mean, yeah, all of them are just deeply spiritual. I love it. Don Cherry is just probably one of my favorite jazz musicians, just my favorite musicians probably to ever live. So I was really excited to get this first Italian pressing. This is really, really rare. This was my only online buy of the year, and it really in a long time, but there was a good price on it and I just could not pass it up. This is seriously a killer album. And not only do I have this, but I also picked up this magazine, The Wires, from the UK, which, I mean, as you can see, took directly from that cover. They do like a 15-page article just on Don Cherry. And it's just super, super insightful. I mean, it goes into the works of Moki Cherry, his wife, too. And yeah, I was really glad I could pick this up. This was a September issue, September of 2023 issue. And so, pretty recent, I picked it up. Paid really low. I mean, I think it's just $9 for this. Really just, there's a lot of good information in here. And that cover is just really, really awesome. And it matches that record, so thought I would show this. All right, now we're gonna kind of get into the actual real finds. I went from kind of oldest finds to newest finds. They're not ordered in however I prefer them. But yeah, first up, Marvin Gaye, Trouble Man. I got this in Duluth. Me and my girlfriend and our friend were on a trip. I got this along with a couple others that I'm gonna show. I think I found this at an antique store and I was really hyped about it. Marvin Gaye, Trouble Man. This is a blaxploitation film in 1972. Those soundtracks are just usually killer. The awesome thing about this cover, he's just chilling. Yeah, so usually they're killer, and this one is no exception at all. I actually still haven't seen Trouble Man. I usually try to watch the actual movies, but I haven't watched this one yet. Yeah, really, really good album on Tamala. I mean, Marvin Gaye is just one of those people. Just one of those people that whatever he created is pretty banging. So, yeah, really happy to pick this one up. This one I have featured in my last video, Underrated Records. This was the first one I showed. I found this at a different antique shop in Duluth. My Goals Beyond, Mahavishnu John McLaughlin. This is just seriously an incredible record. I already talked about it. Y'all probably already know about it, but I'll go over it a little bit. What is it, 1960 or 1972, I think, on Douglas 9. Just a really splendid album. First two tracks, Piece 1 and Piece 2, absolutely gorgeous, and then it's just a bunch of covers on the back. Covers of songs that are really masterfully done. Next up, I found this one in Minneapolis. I was really happy. Purple Rain, Prince and the Revolution. I mean, this is a soundtrack for a movie as well, but I still haven't watched the movie. I grew up on Prince. My parents loved Prince, and they were shocked the day he died. They were shocked. And I remember that day. I remember I came home from school and my parents were both just a mess. And I was like, what happened? Prince died. So I hate to laugh about that, but it's just a really core memory. Just down a little bit. Yeah, this one has all the songs. Let's see here. Let's Go Crazy. When the Doves Cry, I Would Die for You, Baby I'm a Star, Purple Rain. Like, this is just a masterpiece. Prince, I mean, coming from Minneapolis, I got a special love for him and what he did before he did tragically die. But he was just one of those guys, ruthless, absolutely ruthless. Sun up till sundown, even past sundown, he was working on his art. He was absolutely Prince the perfectionist. So happy I could pick that one up. Classic. Next up, Sing Me a Song of Song Me. I found this by Freddie Hubbard. I found this at Mill City Sound, which is my OG shop. That's the shop I used to go to all the time. I went there in the summer a while back, and I picked this one up. And this is a really, really interesting record in Freddie Hubbard's discography. It's really not entirely Freddie Hubbard's record. Ilhan Mimaroglu, I butchered that. Really put a lot of money into this project and invested in it. And this is one of those, it's a weird occurrence because this man, he had a lot of money. He was one of the upper people at Atlantic, which is what it was released on. So he had an avant-garde vision about the Vietnam War. This whole album is just purely about war and strife and struggle. And he had a lot of money, so he put a lot of money into this avant-garde project, which usually does not happen. Avant-garde is usually has no money behind it and it's just pure creativity. So it's a little weird for that. There's some really interesting electronic effects that are happening even when Freddie's playing. It just makes for a really interesting listen. This is really not a jazz record in any sense, really. I don't hate to classify, but yeah, Freddie Hubbard he plays some mind-bending stuff on here. Absolutely mind-bending. I believe this was 1972. There's that inner with Betty Maupin. The quintet is crazy. The lineup here, Junior Cook. Oh no, yeah, not Benny Maupin. Junior Cook on tenor saxophone, Kenny Barron on piano, Art Booth on bass, and Louis Hayes on drums. So pretty legit. That is some legit playing on there. And yeah, I just thought it was an overall good pickup. Yeah, beautiful stuff. Next up, we got a classic. I found this one here in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. This was at an antique shop. Classic. Bob Dylan, Free Willin'. This is a third pressing, I believe, somewhere around there. It is a 2-eye stereo. Super minty. Like, not even nothing. It just pops out of my speakers. Although the cover's a little beat up, the vinyl is absolutely immaculate. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. I mean, I got some dust on it, and I can even feel those edges are real sharp. That's how you know a record has not been played very often. But yeah, this one's just classic. It's got all the heaters on it. What is this? I believe 1963. Yeah, 1963. Girl from the North Country is just really amazing. Blown in the Wind, obviously. Hard Rain's Are Gonna Fall. Love that song. Don't Think Twice, It's All Right. It's just Bob Dylan and his guitar. And that's why this record is so popular. No more is needed. No more is needed than that. And I just find it so charming and so warm to listen to, especially in these winter times. It's really nice to listen. So glad I could pick that one up. Next up, this one was also found at that same antique shop on a different time. Miles Davis, On the Corner, first pressing. Woo! I was really happy I could pick this up. I've been wanting this one for a while. I really love this album because all they do is funk. They're just funking the whole time. If that's an adjective. I think it is. Sorry for that ugly laugh, but yeah, Miles Davis, On the Corner. Just genius. This was his last record he recorded before he kind of went on a hiatus for the rest of the 70s. I think this was 1972. And it was actually one of his worst, it was his worst selling record ever, which I think is just so interesting. I feel like this one is trying to appeal to the youth at that time. Or so that's how I take it. I mean, Columbia always trying to get those sales, but yeah. Super great album, super amazing, super happy I could pick this up for a good price. I think I got it for like around $20. It's kind of like a $50 record, so nowadays. So yeah, really just happy I could pick this up. Alrighty, I just flipped the record to side 3. That was actually side 4 of that Don Cherry Organic Music album. Now we're going into side 3, starting with Harry's tune. And then it starts out like this and eases into The Creator Has a Master Plan by Pharoah Sanders and Leon Thomas. So yeah, this side is really a good one. It takes a second to get into, but it is super good. I'll turn this down a little bit. And yeah, keep in mind it's a free jazz record, so that's going to be playing throughout the whole video. If you don't like free jazz, sorry about it. I love it. Next up, my boy, he had, his dad just has a bunch of records he didn't really care about. So I picked a couple out and took them. And this was one of them, Ella and Lewis, 1956, first pressing on Verve. classic. This is absolutely just, it's, the vocals from both of them are just outstanding. I mean, Louis Armstrong is the creator of American music. Like, he is the forefather of American music, and he's just legendary for that reason. Yeah, 1956. This one's really, really beat up, but they still pop through. Still pops through. I mean, old pressings with that deep groove, it's hard to make them sound really bad. So, let's see, is there an inner? Yeah, not very interesting though. I think it's actually, that's actually a wrong inner. But yeah, Verve, 1956, Ellen Lewis. I mean, just classic. I actually hadn't listened to this really until I got this, and it's just so pretty. Everything is just so quaint. Nothing more is needed, and I wouldn't want any less. So I think the lineup on here is actually crazy too. Let's see. I know it's Oscar Peterson, Ray Brown, Herb Ellis on guitar, and then Buddy Rich on drums. With those two singing. So, really just beautiful record. Yeah, I love this. This is healing music to me. That is just the epitome of healing music. If I'm having a bad day and I bathe in this record, it'll be all right. It's gonna be okay. This next up, this is another one from that same collection. So happy I could find this. I think this is a third pressing, pretty beat up as well. Clifford Brown and Max Roach at Basin Street from 1956 on MRC. Classic, absolutely classic. I'll Remember April on here is amazing. What is this thing called? Love. The Scene is Clean and Gertrude's Bounce. I mean, yeah, some people claim that this is the best jazz group that's ever been assembled. I don't know if I agree with that, but I don't really know what I would say is. But, yeah, I mean, it's Clifford Brown, Max Roach, Sonny Rollins on tenor instead of Harold Land, George Merrill on bass, and Richie Powell on piano. So, yeah, this is right getting there before Richie Powell and Clifford Brown died in that car accident, fatal car accident. Tragic, lost 2 stars. Actually, I think there was a third person in the car, but I'm forgetting who it was. Yeah, amazing album. Like I said, pretty beat up, but, and actually because usually these MRC records, they have a really beautiful laminate on the cover, but it was like peeling and super ugly, so I tried to take it off and make it look a little better, and I would say it looks better, but still, it's still hard with those old covers with those laminate. All right, so moving on to the next couple bunch of records. These I found in Colorado when I was visiting my sister. She just moved to Colorado Springs, so me and my girlfriend drove out there, went through South Dakota, went down to Colorado. And I got some digs. This one I found in Colorado Springs. Jazz Track. This is a first Netherlands pressing. I just thought this was so interesting, the Netherlands pressing. And it's super clean. This is, Jazz Track was the release on Columbia after Le Censeur pour l'Échafaud. I don't want to talk about it. Which was the 10-inch of the soundtrack that Miles did for that movie, where he just watched the movie and played along with it with some cast from Europe. I don't know what country, but probably France. So yeah, and then the first side of Jazz Track is just all of that, and then the second side is On Great Dolphin Street, Fran Dance, and Stella by Starlight from the great quintet with Coltrane and Paul Chambers, Philly Joe Jones, and Red Garland. So yeah, really awesome. Oh, wait, Wynton Kelly and Jimmy Cobb, sorry. Yes, super good. Really happy I could get this. This is an interesting cover. I don't even know how this, like, Like it's never even, it just like folds out and it's just a sheet of paper. I don't know how this is transported, but without these bags. So yeah, just a badass photo on the cover too, with a pretty lady. Come on now, badass photo on the back. Had to get it. I'm a Miles diehard. This next one I found at that same shop, actually. Yeah, this was at that same shop. Moacir Santos Maestro. On Blue Note. Super good album. The track on here is Luan with Frank Rosalino on trombone. That shit is crazy. It's so good. That is such a good solo. Just that whole vibe of that song is amazing. That's kind of why I bought this record. And I listened to the rest of the record. It's pretty good. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan, but that one song just fucking rips. So yeah, on Blue Note, this is a Black Bee. Super clean, honestly. Jacket clean. I got this for pretty cheap as well. Born in Pernambuco, northeastern Brazil, where the great Amazon snakes through lush jungle, little Moacir was then known as Garota Quierdo de Flores, or the cherished boy of music. That's awesome. That's beautiful. So I assume came to America, found Blue Note. I mean, this was 1972, so not really in its prime at all. Under United Artists, yeah, really great album. I love this. Go check out Luan. That track, go check that out with Frank Rosalino. And this one I found in Denver, like as we were coming down. Larry Coryell, Fairyland. This is on Mega, the Flying Dutchman series. Really awesome record. This is a live piece from the Montreux Jazz Festival. Actually, I don't know if it's from the Montreux Jazz Festival, but it's from Montreux, Sweden. 1974, awesome. Larry Coryell is one of those underrated guitarists, in my opinion. Just really awesome album. The first song is such a vibe, Soul's Dirge. That shit is so vibey. I love that. Recorded on June 18th, 1971, with Chuck Rainey on bass and Bernard Purdy. Pretty Purdy on drums. Yeah, produced by Bob Thiel, so hence the Flying Dutchman series. Yeah, really crazy cover too. Iconic. Man, that's so awesome. They're gonna go into Creator Has a Master Plan soon. These next few I found, so there was a, I'll give a little backstory to this. There was the neighborhood I live in is called the Third Ward, and there's a Third Ward thrift sale it's once a year, one day a year in September. And you already know what I was looking for. You already know what I was going to every house asking what they had. Do you have records? Surely enough, one lady, bless her soul, was just like, yeah, I mean, my husband passed away a few years ago. They were mostly his. Classic. And she took me up, and I was searching through them. They're pretty good. I mean, it's all the classic rock, hard rock shit you see. So I bought all of it for a good price. And I sold a lot of it and kept some gems, or things that I thought were gems. I made some pretty decent money off of it. That was really only my first like flipping experience. It was really, really fun. Like I said, made some decent money. It was just awesome. And then I got some great records. So the first one, kind of an oddball one, Idris Muhammad, House of the Rising Sun. On Kudu, 1975, recorded June, September, and October of that year. This is a heavily produced and orchestrated album, so that's kind of but the lineup is crazy. Trumpet, Tom Harrell. If you don't know who Tom Harrell is, go look him up. He is a killer player. Really, really similar to oh my god, I'm blanking on his name. Anyways, David Sanborn on sax, Mike Brecker and Robert Berg on tenor. So those are pretty heavies. Joe Beck on guitar, Eric Gale, and yeah, Idris Muhammad on drums. like I said, on Kudu, 1975, really just awesome, kind of unexpected. I mean, this was really one of the only jazz records in that collection. So I kept it, decided to keep it. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good record. Idris Muhammad's records are usually kind of pricey nowadays. I don't really know why. Not anything against him, but just, I don't know. Really good stuff. Usually his stuff's on the later prestige labels. This next one just was kind of interesting. Jimi Hendrix, Crash Landing. This is a first Japan pressing of this. This is a posthumous release. So released in 1970, he died in 1969. So there's some weirdness on this one. I would say there is some weirdness where it's just like they must have taken his guitar and just overlaid it with like a new band that he's never even met in his life. So that is just a little strange. But some of the tracks on here were recorded before he died. And those are really the ones that I do like. So yeah. And this awful plastic, I just haven't bothered to take it out. Absolutely mint. Japan pressing. Yeah. You already just switched it up there. That's just something that Don Cherry does and that I just really cherish is he'll be playing a melody, everyone comes in, and then immediately he'll switch something. He'll switch the vibe completely and everyone will catch on and soothe into the vibe. So good. I actually saw Marquise Hill, he was doing that on his New Year's Eve show at the Jazz Showcase in Chicago. He was doing that kind of vibe and I was really like that. This next one was also in that collection. Not a rare record by any means, not even, it's just a very special record to me. This is what my dad had a CD of in the car. And he would always play it when we went to the cabin. This just really just is a homey record for me, even though it's a compilation, but Gordon Lightfoot, Gord's Gold. The reason this one, instead of just a studio album, is that the order of this is just ingrained in my head because my dad would just put on that CD. And so this is a really clean first press. Like you can hear that it doesn't even want to fully open, from 1975. This is a Jacksonville pressing, I believe, on Reprise. I love Gordon Lightfoot so much. If I'm really just feeling homesick or I'm just down, if I feel like I need a little blanket, here they're going into Creator's Master Plan. Yeah, awesome. If I ever need a little blanket, I'll put this on. Gord's Gold, absolutely phenomenal. If you don't know it, go check it out. Go check it out. Don't have super high expectations because it's just some folk rock from the 1970s. So I wouldn't even say folk rock. It's just kind of folk. It's just really awesome. I love this album. These next few, we're getting down there. These were local finds at my local record store. First up, Dr. John. This is the first German pressing on the Atlantic label. In the Right Place. He's from New Orleans, just a New Orleans icon. And the reason I bought this is I was looking, I was like, oh, this looks familiar. I know that song, In the Right Place, and I know Dr. John, and he's iconic. And I look, oh, the rhythm section, the meters. That's literally right there. And I was like, sold, this is mine. Like, if the rhythm section's in the meters, I gotta have it. So yeah, this awesome gatefold, like super fucking psychedelic, super awesome. Just tickles all of the senses. Really awesome. Yeah, like I said, the meters kill it on this one. Dr. John, from that Bayou. From the Bayou. Yeah, it was just really awesome. I actually ended up learning a bit about Dr. John in my global music class last semester, which is pretty cool. And the professor was actually from New Orleans, so she had some pretty good insight along with Congo Square, which is always helpful. It's kind of the starting place of jazz. So yeah, Dr. John in the right place. Next up, we got some modern stuff. Yussef Day's Experience live at Joshua Tree. This is a YouTube video if you want to go watch it. I would not say the record is necessary, just go watch the YouTube video, it's awesome. I actually had a chance to see Yussef Day's a couple months ago. Maybe it was just like a month ago. No, it was 2 months ago. In Minneapolis, and they brought the heat. It was awesome. He's a master with his band, just absolute masters. And yeah, happy I could find this. I kept it in the shrink just cause. This is a EP, so the other side just is blank. So there's grooves on one side and blank on the other side. But just absolutely vibes. Like, this is the epitome of vibes. This is probably one of the most vibey records in my collection. So yeah. Next up, my girlfriend's parents gave me a coupon, or like a gift card. And she loves this band. Her parents love this band, and I love this band. I got the chance to see them a couple years ago. And they are probably one of the best touring bands out there right now. Y'all probably know what is up, but Khrungbin, had to pick these up. This is their latest release, Ali, and this is Mordecai. They're the really thing that got them off the map in 2020. Super awesome, 2019 rather. Just if that's like the most vibe thing, okay, maybe this has to be the most vibe thing in my collection. It's just so palpable. It's just a trio, but their sound is just so full. It's just so badass. They sound so tight. He was an addition on this record, but the trios, these three, oh my god, I just love them. And the show they put on in Minneapolis a couple years ago was just fantastic, absolutely insane. Alright, I'm gonna flip this record, it's almost done. So this is now side 2. I kind of prefer to listen to this record backwards from side 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Relativity Suite 1 and 2. So you'll hear them talking back there. So last up, we're on the home stretch here. This past year, I had the chance to play at my group Summit Blue at the new record store in Eau Claire, brand new, Abraxas Wax. Go check it out if you're in the area. Super good. I mean, the stuff this guy brings in is just completely up my alley, and I just really love his store. And we were the first music group that has played there, and now there's some more stuff coming in, which is really just awesome. But he gave us some credit, so I got store credit. So I got this one, the Quintet VSOP. This is one of the mind meltiest jazz records ever. I mean, this is 1977, so everyone's in their prime, without Miles though, and it's Freddie Hubbard, and he brings his shit because he know this is the group, this is the quintet, and instead of Miles, it's Freddie. He's got a big shoe to fill, but I mean, it's Freddie Hubbard. He doesn't give a fuck. He just slays on here, like actually slays. He knows exactly what he's saying, and just the whole group dynamic on this is mind-blowing. It's like jazz rock, but not like you just gotta listen to it. It is just, the energy is so high, and it's a live recording, and the audience just is eating it up completely. Really just awesome record. I would highly recommend checking this out if you haven't listened to it. Yeah, one of a kind. That first track, fucking bringing it in. Sorry for my cursing, but it's just comes out naturally. So this one, he had this in the stock, and so I had to buy it. I've been looking for this record for so long, you don't even know. Like, since I started collecting. I was so happy to find this. Don Cherry Symphony for Improvisers. This is not a first pressing, but I do not care. It's an early pressing, so good enough for me. Man, this is just a masterpiece with Gato Baveri, Pharoah Sanders, Carl Berger on vibes, Henny Grimes on bass, Jenny Clark also on bass, and Edward Blackwell on drums. Edward Blackwell is one of the most melodic drummers I've ever heard in my life, and it shows on this completely. It is so masterfully done. Everyone, it just, the energy is pulsating the entire time. It's so beautiful. That in there. And it's just, you are there when you listen to this. You can't just put this on and go do something, because like that, I've been hosting listening sessions in my room for just all my homies. Just come through, let's just listen to music, put away our phones, put away our worries, just let's listen to music. And this was one of the first ones, or on this particular session, this was the first one that I was playing. And people were just not ready. They were just kind of like still talking, and it just kind of became super like chaotic. And I started over. I was like, guys, you have to just let it go. You have to be with the music. Like, this is not a record that you can just like kind of listen to. It is demanding. Like, you need to listen to this. And so we did, and they were fucking gobsmacked by the end. Absolutely like, this is such a masterpiece. And it's visceral. Everything in this album is visceral. It is so amazing. I love this album. 1967, I believe. This is a 1971 press on Blue Note. Yeah. Super awesome. Just really glad I could find this. Seth, you're my boy. He's the owner of that shop. And these are all coming from Abraxas Wax, so I'm telling you, if you're in the area, go check it out. These are killer finds. Next up, we got Don Cherry, Eternal Rhythm. I'm talking really fast, sorry about that. This is a US press, because this was originally released in Italy when he was living there. This is a very experimental record, but I felt like I needed it. I need every Don Cherry album I can get. I'm just obsessed with this man. So... That's kind of all there is. It's very, very, very ethereal. It's very experimental. It's another patchy kind of album, but it's just so amazing. Like, the vibe on this one is crazy, and it's only 3 people. It's Don Cherry. It's 4 people. Don Cherry, Christer Boten, Bernd Rosengren, and Agneta Ernstrom. Whew. That was hard to get through. But yeah, just, oh my god, it says right there. There we go. This is on the Antilles label, pretty small label. I believe this was from 1969. Really awesome piece. There's some really, really great stuff on here. So I decided I would pick it up. I do like the cover on the original better, or the original Italian pressing. Just kind of has pink, and it's just kind of more cohesive. This is kind of a blocky album, but yeah, could not recommend this enough. One more Don Cherry coming at you. This is a little bit of a weirder one, 1978, I believe. Sedona, 1979. Sedona on ECM. This is a trip. This record is a trip. I mean, this is the trio one that I was thinking of. It's Don Cherry, Colin Walcott, and Nana Vasconcelos, whatever. Colin plays sitar, tabla, hammer, dulcimer, one of my favorite instruments, sanza and voice. Don Cherry plays trumpet, flutes, dosanguni and voice, and then Nana plays the barambo, cuica, percussion and voice. And it's about an hour of music, and it just kills. It's so amazing. I love this one for when it's late, it's getting late. I want to listen to something interesting, but not crazy. This is a very chill album in comparison to Don Cherry's other albums. I love it. And I think it's kind of a relatively cheap album on ECM. I know I got it for cheap, at least. And I'm just so glad I got it. Sedona. There's a Sedona 2 and 3, which were also released on ECM later. But this first one, if you see it, you should totally get it. You should definitely get this record. I really love it. If you like Don Cherry, that is. So yeah, really amazing. Got one more, and it is just the cherry on top. Here, let me pour some tea for myself quick. Take a little sip. Enjoy some music for a second before we end this video. Amazing, amazing. All right, this is Heat. I got this for $20. This is like a $150 record. For the condition, it's not that bad though. $20. Eddie Hazel. Guitar Things, or Games, Dames, and Guitar Things. Original on Warner Brothers. I flipped when I walked in the store and this was sitting right there, $20. I was like, is this actually an original? And he was like, yeah, it's a little warped, there's some cracks. And I was like, I don't care. I'm getting this, like, and it sounds great. It plays through. I mean, it's a rock record, it's a funk record. It's gonna play through. I'm into records for the grind. I mean, a clean record's amazing, especially when it just really pops out. But I mean, I love a little grind. So I was just thrilled when I saw this. Eddie Hazel, of course, being the guitarist for for Funkadelic. Maggot Brain being my favorite. He's the guitar player on Maggot Brain, the track. Mind melting. He is a mind melting musician. And this was really his only release as a soloist, so this one goes up for a good amount. I was just so thrilled I could find, I was so thrilled I could find this record for $20. I mean, I spin this all the time now. It's just so funky, so amazing. Please go check this out if you haven't. If you like Funkadelic, you'll like this. Please go check this out. Eddie Hazel. Alrighty. Thank you everyone for watching. I highly appreciate it. Sorry I haven't been on for a minute. I really enjoyed making this video. Hopefully there'll be more to come. Like I said in the beginning of the video, my group Summit Blue, we just released our first album in September, and it's all original music, and we really pride ourselves in that. So please go check it out. Please go check it out. I'm really proud of it. Yeah, my tunes on there are Shifting, Lunch Break, and Honesty. Those are the tunes that I wrote. Everyone else contributed their own. So yes, peace and love everyone. Hang in there. It's gonna be all right. All right, thank you for watching. Peace out.